Hello everybody, welcome to another guide video. This week, the popular demand in my alliance has been for reading battle logs. I don't think they're that complicated, but that's probably just me, I don't know. They seem pretty straightforward. In any case, I'm going to start off with a group attack because I want to show the difference between the main screens. So the attacker is always going to be on the left, the defender is always going to be on the right. In the case of a group, either more than one attacker or more than one defender, it's going to show the captain. In the defender case, it's going to be the battle barge owner, and then the attacker's case is going to be the rally leader. Garrisons, I'm told that the captain is chosen randomly from whoever's on the station. So when there's two defenders, one attacker, two defenders, which is why you get the group readout. So it'll give you a breakdown of participants and losses, and then you have to click on a details icon, which gives you a further breakdown, and it will show the units and the stats for each army individually. And so there's two defenders, so it shows both of them. When it's a 1 versus 1, it doesn't split off to a second screen, and I'm actually going to be going over a 1 versus 1 because I also want to drive home the importance of using rebound for defending against players of significantly higher power than you. And once again, rebound will not save you from getting wiped out, but at least you will take some of them out in the process. So this was a last minute attack. Well, not really. Pretty close to it though. Happened 2.5 hours. No, 3.5. I don't know. 4.5. Anyway, it happened then. It was at the end of the kill event. So he attacked 13,000, mostly tier 9s. The defender had tier 7s. Without rebound, he would have been zeroed. I'm pretty sure of that. But with rebound, he took out more points than he lost for defense. And of course, because it's a 1 versus 1, you get the immediate army breakdown, and it's a direct comparison as well, which is nice. So you can compare the attacker's heroes and the defender's heroes, and you see Vance's got all 3 rebound heroes equipped because he's a good listener, unlike some other people in my alliance. And because of that, he walked away with 35 frags, when if he wasn't attacked at the last minute, he would have walked away with 0 frags. So it all worked out for him. It was to his benefit. And of course, it goes down into the individual army breakdown of kills and deaths and all of that fun stuff. And likewise for the defender. Now the real meat and potatoes of these things is when you click on the camera, which gives you this. I don't know how a camera translates to, well, it kind of looks like programming to me, but translates to this, but that's it. So if you want to see the actual details, you come in here. So your first section is the preparation phase. And this is where the heroes activate all of their skills. So every hero has 3 skills: buffs, debuffs, and procs. And I've gone over that in my other video. But here you can see everything being applied. So the buffs you see, Telion performs Vengeful Wrath, and it applies it to the owner, Vedius. But then the debuff, Telion performs Suppressive Fire, and it applies to the defender. Now debuffs would apply to everybody on the other team. So if there was more than one person defending, they would have had their attack speed reduced also. So all the attackers' stuff goes off, and then the defender's stuff goes off. And again, he's got a debuff. 1 debuff on Alistair and 1 debuff on Caster. And both of those would apply to the whole enemy army if there was more than one attacker. So we'll go on to the fun part, which is the battle stage. This is where you see how good or bad your build worked out. The first thing to note is when attacking a battle barge, there are turrets, and the turrets always attack first at the 1 millisecond. You can see Banta's got kind of a spread going on here. And they all hit Renica. He took quite a bit of damage. Oh no, wait, no. Oh, no, never mind. I'm reading this wrong. Sorry, I'm a little tired. Heavy bolter attacked Renica. Rocket launcher attacked dreadnoughts. Last cannon attacked dreadnoughts. So the downside of the turrets is they don't seem to have good target prioritization. You would think they would attack whatever they're strongest against, but they go down the list as per normal attack rolls, which is frustratingly poor design, but oh well. So then we move on to Fedius's first round. This would be 1 second, except that he has a speed buff from Telion, so it's 0.76 or 760 milliseconds. So it goes through, he attacks. Aster's small amount of dodge procs every time his people are attacked. He takes the damage. Now each hero had reflect, and so that's why you see 3 reflects. And one's going to be from Garrodon, one's from Alistair, and one's from Castor. I'm not sure which one is which. I think it corresponds with the order of the heroes in the list. So it goes on like this. Renica procs her damage increase. Basically, a skill-based crit, which would stack with another crit if the attack critted. And then once again, reflect. Every time they attack, a portion of the damage goes back to the origin army. And of course, we don't see much going on because the damage numbers are so low that we're not seeing many losses. Now, losses seem to work in that each unit is a section of the bar, so when their section of the bar is depleted, that unit's dead. So the attacks aren't taking damage, doing damage equally to all units in the stack. It's just it deletes one unit every time it runs out of health, sort of thing. And it rolls like this until the entire stack of units is depleted. So all procs trigger before the attack. That's a good thing to point out right here. I'm checking my notes. So yeah, damage, that proc first, that proc first. So before the attack is actually done, all the procs are rolled, all of the dices are rolled, all the random numbers are generated. Dodge cancels out an entire attack. And let me see if I can find an example of this. There's going to be one decent one around somewhere. Of course, here I run into the performance issues of this game, and why I really wish I could just export this to a text file. Because every time it stops, it's because it literally hasn't loaded the text yet. That is so fucking frustrating. Here we go. Level 2 intercessors, 163. So that would be the entire stack, all 163 intercessors. Now, how many attack is not decided before anything. This is decided after all of the procs. So we're actually seeing it go through the dodge chance first, and it triggers a dodge. So because the dodge is essentially a 0% multiplier to the attack damage, that means it would take an infinite number of units. So that's what happens. The entire stack attacks and misses. Might be better to balance it so that only the units that could kill that one attack, and those are the only ones that miss. So then the rest of the units can move on to attack something else. That's what makes dodge a little powerful. It's not as powerful as it used to be because there's newer heroes coming out with more interesting abilities, and of course accuracy reduces the effectiveness of dodge. But yeah, going back, damage is post-processed. Let me see if I can find another good example of this. This is all the way up at the top, where Renica procced. Alright, damage increased by 78%. So then it takes... Of course, it uses a full stack because it's only 10. But if it was more than that... In fact, let me just try and find an example. It won't take me too long, I think. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, so here's a good example. Level 9. So he's got probably a couple thousand of these. So first it rolls Serenica's damage increase. It succeeds, then it rolls the dodge, it fails. So because it's 78% more, it uses fewer units for the attack, because it's going to aim to do enough damage to kill the entire stack. So by rolling that means it required fewer units to kill the attack, so more of those units will go on to attack another unit. Of course, and here's the fascinating thing that the whales are currently bitching about. When this happens, let's say you get a crit and one of these procs at the same time, so your units are doing more damage, you know, high numbers of damage, and then you have a very high reflect, and 2 or 3 of the reflect heroes maxed out. It will remove more units than were in the attack, up to the entire stack. So in that sense, this is actually kind of counterproductive. If you're facing a rebound, all these damage to increase by don't seem so nice. Of course, I'm curious. Well, it goes by so quick. I would be curious to know if Irenica's damage over 10 seconds counts for a rebound. So yeah, we just see 3,000 hits for that much damage against level 5 Dreadnought, so there's a good damage soak. So the first rebound, he loses almost 500. Second rebound, 650. Third rebound, almost 500 again. So you lost 1,600 units taking out level 5 Dreadnoughts. Without the rebound, those units would still be there. They would be there for the next attack round. And that's why I say without rebound, this player would have been zeroed out easily. Instead, he won the defense, took heavy losses, but won the defense and got himself 35 frags out of the kill event. Just from this alone. So, this is the most important example of why you need to have rebound. If you're an alliance leader and you're not the biggest fish in the pond, make sure your people are using rebound, because that's your only option in dealing with players that are just one tier above you, because the power gap in this game is ridiculous. course, did he use emergency operation? That's an interesting question from my notes. I'm assuming so. Yeah. So Fetius used emergency operation in his attack. I can say this because none of his troops died. They're injured, so they went to the hospital. So you get basically one attack where your units are injured instead of dead. And that's a very important thing to use, especially if you're going to attack a rebound player. I don't care how powerful your army is, if he's got his rebound set up and has a decent flesh wall, you're gonna lose stuff. And of course, that makes hospital capacity even more important. I don't know if this is Banta's total capacity or not for his hospital, but let's assume it is. So almost 1,400 immediately go to the hospital where they can be healed. And then it says 75,000 are dead, which is not technically correct because you have reserve squad, and reserve squad is 4 times the capacity of your hospital. So I'm going to take 13,982 times 4. So he had, if that was his total capacity for his hospital, he had another, the reserve squad could take another almost 56,000. Which means he lost a little under 20,000, not 75,000. Which can still be painful, but not nearly as much as losing all 75,000. So that's why it's of utmost importance to make sure your hospital capacity is as high as you can get it. So whether you're attacking or defending, you have a lot less risk of losing your troops and having to build them from scratch again. And keep in mind that reserve squad replaces the troops for free. You just have to wait. And I think that's about it. You can't actually open the heroes to see the breakdown, but you see their level, you see their stars. That gives you an idea of their power to an extent. And you can figure it out from reverse how strong the skills are by what they pull out of preparation. So if you have the heroes and you're familiar with what their caps are, you can see if they were attacking with a capped out hero or partially powerful hero. So his Garradon's rebounding 16.8%. So that's the max for the amount of stars. I think he had 3 stars, so he probably had that level 3 rebound. Alistair rebound 23%. That's one below the cap, I believe. I think the cap is 26. Yeah, the cap's 26 for Alistair and Caster. Caster's at 17%. So he's maxed out for his star level, but certainly not that high. So Banta did a good job of having all 3 heroes with their rebound as high as he could get it for the hero star level, and of course his Caster and his Garradon are pretty low in stars because it's very, very difficult to get shards for them as a free player. Garradon's actually almost impossible to get shards for as a free player. So far we only had one event where you could get Garradon shards for free, and I think it was only like 24. So he had to burn a lot of his utility fragments. Of course, the difference in the Free Blade. Free Blade is stronger in attack than defense once they're up to gold level. Of course, this is sort of interesting to look at. That's a thing for a different time. Army crit damage increase. That's Blood Angels, isn't it? dodge increase 5%. Or no, that's not. That's that's Raven Guard, right? Let me see if I can find the dodge, or not the dodge, the accuracy. That's going to be another lone 5%. Yeah, okay, so he's Raven Guard. If you go and you look and sort of memorize the bonuses, you can figure out what faction they're attacking. It can be difficult to see if you're not familiar with the stats. I think it's fascinating that it shows Fedius's auto defense tower attack, even though he was attacking. That's pretty novel. That's good information to know if you're going to counterattack. Anyway, that's enough for this video. I'm really starting to ramble and get off in the woods. So that's how you read your battle report. If you're having a hard time cracking defenses and you're not sure what you're doing wrong, or your defenses are failing constantly and you're not sure what you're doing wrong, reading the battle reports is a good place to start. It can be confusing to look at first, so hopefully this helps you out. Until next time, have a good one.